Good day, everybody. Welcome back to It's a Small Vlog, and as you can see, I'm here at the Magic Kingdom on this beautiful October morning. I mean, look at this. We got the Halloween decorations, a perfectly blue sky, perfect morning here at the Magic Kingdom. But as the name of the video suggests, we are going to be doing a property-wide fall construction update here, again, at all four parks. If you watched my April construction video, we basically did the exact same thing. We went to all four parks and we covered all of the news and construction and everything happening really all across the property, and today's going to be no different. We're starting at Magic Kingdom, then we're going to go to Epcot, the studios, and then of course end at Animal Kingdom. There will be plenty of time cards in the description below so that we can follow through nice and concisely throughout the video as well. I do apologize for being absent lately. This video is well overdue. I delayed it because if you watched my last video, we had a hurricane, one of two so far this season. We had Hurricane Helene. Link to that will be in the card in the top right hand corner of the screen. And then 2 weeks later, we had an even worse hurricane. You may have heard of him. He goes by the name of Milton, and he was not very nice to us here in Central Florida. So I delayed it because of all the crazy stuff happening. It also kind of gave Disney some time to clean up property. There was not a ton of damage, but there was a lot of debris, and it impacted Central Florida pretty hard. But thankfully, I'm okay. Everybody seems to be doing okay, which is good. But again, this is going to be your fall construction update property-wide. We're going to be starting here at the Magic Kingdom, and we're going to be heading over to Frontierland for our first set of news coverage. Heading over here to Frontierland, we have some pretty big news to discuss, as it was just announced last week that at long last, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad will be closing in the new year for an extended refurbishment. Now, usually when attractions close down for a refurb, the process is usually fairly quick with minor work being done, as that was certainly the case with recent refurbished Magic Kingdom attractions like Peter Pan's Flight in Fantasyland and the Jungle Cruise in Adventureland. However, Big Thunder Mountain's upcoming refurbishment is anything but. Disney stated that Big Thunder Mountain Railroad will begin its lengthy refurbishment starting January 6th, 2025, and will not be reopening until sometime the following year in 2026. Yep, you heard me correct, as in just 3 short months, Big Thunder Mountain will be closed for pretty much all of 2025 and going into 2026. The reason behind this extended downtime is because Disney is planning on investing a lot of money into this refurbishment. And a big part of that includes completely retracking the entirety of the coaster to make it smoother and steadier and to increase ride functionality. Additionally, another anticipated part of this refresh is the quote-unquote new magic that will be present when the ride eventually reopens. What Disney is most likely referring to here is the impressive dynamite scene that can be found over at Disneyland's Thunder Mountain on the final lift hill, something that Orlando's version has been lacking for well over a decade. Rumors indicate that we could also be seeing some notable enhancements made in the queue as well, but that remains unconfirmed. And while it is sad that this popular Magic Kingdom attraction will be receiving over a year's worth of downtime, it's also equally exciting that we'll soon be able to experience a new and improved Big Thunder Mountain Railroad sometime in the near future. So once again, this refurbishment is scheduled to begin on January 6th, 2025, which means your last chance to ride before work begins will be the day before on January 5th of the new year. Now, technically, this Big Thunder refurb isn't really a huge project for Disney. Again, it is still just a refurbishment at the end of the day. It's not a new project. But what makes it that much more significant is once work starts and is finished on this Big Thunder Mountain refurb, that's going to provide a lot more leeway into what Disney is going to be able to do with the rest of the, what I like to call, new Frontierland expansion area. And of course, I'm talking about what's going to end up happening with the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island, as they are set to be removed next year. And of course, as a friendly reminder, what's going to go in their place? 2 new Cars attractions, which is what I want to talk about next. So with the first part of this massive expansion of Frontierland getting underway in early January, it begs the question of when will we see work begin on the 2 new Cars themed attractions in the area. As a quick recap, if you watched my D23 news coverage back in August, we had a pretty in-depth discussion about what the future of Frontierland will soon hold, as the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island soon become a thing of the past. Disney released this very ambitious piece of concept art that depicts a fully transformed Frontierland, complete with the addition of 2 new attractions themed around Disney and Pixar's Cars. The Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island will soon be getting leveled to make way for a major e-ticket and smaller family-friendly attraction themed around the popular film franchise. But the question is, when will this work begin? Well, unfortunately, at the time of recording this, we don't really have a ton of information to work with yet, but as usual, we can speculate and make some predictions. Currently, we know that Disney has already filed construction permits for this project, but there's also plenty more they still need to file. The issue here is that this project imposes some very real logistical issues with the surrounding environment, as the backside of the river is undeveloped swamp area, and the waterways of the Rivers of America are directly connected to the Seven Seas Lagoon. To put it in layman's terms, what all of this means is that Disney can't just simply drain the river and level the island immediately. They have to gain approval from the state of Florida that outlines important factors like flooding, environmental impact on the surrounding wetlands, and what Disney will be doing during the construction process to mitigate these potential issues. Considering all of the remaining work Disney needs to do before they can even gain approval for the project to happen, it's likely that the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island will be remaining open for at least a little longer than expected. Recalling Josh D'Amaro's statement at the D23 Expo, he mentioned that work would begin on the expansion, quote-unquote, early next year, which originally made me believe we could be seeing a January closure for the river and the island. And while that's still a possibility, I personally think that work will be getting underway probably closer to February or maybe even March of 2025. So for those of you who want to say one final goodbye to these 2 classic Magic Kingdom attractions, I think it's pretty safe to say that you still have plenty of time to do so before the new year begins. All right, everybody. Well, that is going to wrap up the Magic Kingdom portion of this video. That's all that I wanted to talk about here going on with the Big Thunder Mountain refurbishment and, of course, what that all means for the future of the river and Tom Sawyer Island. I honestly still can't even believe that we're actually going to be losing all of this. It just, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel real, but we are. That's what's going on here at the Magic Kingdom. But anyway, this video is not even close to being done. We're going to head on over to Epcot and go check out what's going on over at that park. Hello, welcome to Epcot, everybody. And I'm going to be honest, there's not really a ton to really talk about here at Epcot. However, of course, the big elephant in the room for this park is what's currently going on over at Test Track, which is the former Test Track 2.0, which is currently being transformed into Test Track 3.0. Thankfully, we have a little bit to talk about over there, so let's head on over to World Discovery and discuss what's going on. Taking a look at the latest construction progress happening here in World Discovery at the former Test Track 2.0, we can see that construction has continued to move at a slow and steady pace. Ever since my last update back in August, I reported that crews were in the process of dismantling the giant canopy with the bright blue scrim attached to it, and wouldn't you know, the entire canopy is now officially gone. This actually marks a huge milestone in the ongoing construction of this project because this is the first time since the 1990s that we can now observe a fully unobstructed view of the ride building, bringing it somewhat back to its former World of Motion glory days from the 1980s. Now, the removal of the canopy is all in preparation for the sleek lower overhang that Disney plans to install in the coming months. According to the concept art, this will act as the new and less obstructive entrance into the Test Track 3.0 queue line. If you look closely at the view from the monorail, you'll notice that most of the concrete in front of the main entrance has been torn up and is now all dirt. This is the beginning of what the construction crew is working on to prep the ground by pouring new sets of concrete that will act as the foundation for the new entrance. It looks like some underground utility work is underway as well. However, that seems to be all of the visible construction happening outside of the attraction, and unfortunately, we don't really have any way of knowing what's happening on the inside of the attraction just yet, or at least not for certain. The only clues that we've received recently is the filing of multiple new public construction permits associated with the attraction. In just the past few months, we've seen permits filed for things like themed props and sets, electrical work, a projection dome, curtains, and even sound and video upgrades. upgrades. Considering the plethora of permits Disney has filed, it's safe to assume that work is probably progressing quite nicely on the inside of the attraction, which is great news. Once again, Test Track 3.0 is scheduled to open sometime next year in 2025 for what I believe will be a possible late spring or early summer opening date, but it looks like we'll just have to wait and see. All right, everybody. Well, like I said, I told you Epcot was going to be pretty quick. That is literally all that's happening at this park. Not much else is going on, but that's okay. It made things a little bit easier to film and, record for you guys. So I hope that you enjoyed that brief update on Test Track. Hopefully we'll begin to learn a little bit more about it and see some more interesting work happen in the couple months. Again, the canopy being gone, that's pretty cool. But that is going to wrap up the first half of this video. And now the second half of this video, of course, will be the two remaining parks, Disney's Hollywood Studios and Disney's Animal Kingdom. We're gonna head over to Disney's Hollywood Studios right now. Hello, welcome to Disney's Hollywood Studios. 2 parks down, 2 parks to go. And we actually have some pretty decent news to cover here, one of which is something that I haven't covered in a while, and number 2, a brand new announcement that I have yet to cover. So let's get started. Making our way over to Sunset Boulevard right next to Rock and Roller Coaster, you will notice that we are currently looking at the Sunset Showcase Theater, home to the now deceased Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy, which actually closed down permanently just a few weeks ago. The show debuted back in the spring of 2019 as a new offering to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Disney's Hollywood Studios, and after a successful 5.5-year runtime, it officially closed its doors on October 7th, 2024. This is all in an effort to make preparations for a brand new show that will be themed around popular Disney villains and will debut at the Sunset Showcase next summer in 2025. Disney made this surprise announcement back in early September after not being mentioned at the D23 Expo in August, and provided us with 2 pieces of concept art and a brief description of the show's story. Quote, "Deep in the shadows of Sunset Boulevard at Disney's Hollywood Studios, something delightfully wicked is about to take the stage. The creative minds at Disney Live Entertainment will transform Sunset Showcase into the mysterious, reflective realm of the magic mirror. The show will feature appearances made by dozens of the most infamous evildoers, with fiendish foes like Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, and Maleficent, each breaking through the glass to take the stage in live production numbers." End quote. As of right now, that seems to be all of the details that Disney has shared with us regarding this new show, and I have to say I'm actually really looking forward to seeing this. Respectfully, Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy was a cute show for kids, but I don't think it was ever a must-see item for people to do while visiting the park. A live and possibly comedic stage show featuring a bunch of cool and interesting special effects is something I think will pair really well with the villain's IP, and I think it adds a little more variety to the park's show lineup. And for those that don't know, Sunset Showcase actually has a brief history with Disney villains, as it used to act as the home to a former hard ticket event called Club Villain back in 2016 and 2017. Either way, be sure to keep your eyes and ears peeled for some more news regarding this show coming sometime in the near future as it preps for an opening date of summer 2025. Okay, shifting gears over here to Animation Courtyard, we have one other thing to discuss. Newsflash, it's another show, and it's the one right behind me, the Little Mermaid show. Now, if you watched my D23 news coverage back in August, you know that there was no mention of the show at the D23 Expo. Now, because of that, I had believed that the show had been abruptly canceled for whatever reason, because we hadn't heard anything about it in a pretty long time, until a few days ago, when Disney announced that no, the show is not canceled, it's just delayed. Yeah, so if you guys watched my D23 news coverage vlog, I discussed in part 2 how I was surprised that we heard no update on the progress with the Little Mermaid show, leading me to believe that the show had been abruptly canceled. And until a few days ago, my belief had stayed consistent. However, Disney recently broke the news to us that the show is in fact still happening, but has been delayed significantly to a new opening season of, you guessed it, summer 2025. With this announcement, Disney shared the following statement, quote, As we continue to look forward to The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure at Disney's Hollywood Studios, we are taking the next steps by filing permits for an all-new marquee. Work on the exterior of the building will begin soon in preparation for the premiere of this fully reimagined show in summer 2025. We look forward to sharing more details on this exciting new experience soon, end quote. So while it is kind of unfortunate that we won't be able to experience a refreshed version of this classic Hollywood Studios stage show this year, it's nice to know that Disney is still following through with their commitment. It sounds like work on the exterior of the building should begin before the end of the year, which is exciting news as well. And all else I have to say is that there's definitely going to be a lot of new things for us to experience next summer here at Walt Disney World. I mean, think about it. We got 2 new stage shows opening at Hollywood Studios, a fully reimagined Test Track 3.0 at Epcot, and of course, let's not forget the new nighttime parade coming to the Magic Kingdom called Disney Starlight. And while it is common for Disney to roll out numerous new offerings during the summer season, it all boils down to the elephant in the room, and that's a little something called Epic Universe, Universal's brand new theme park that will officially be opening on May 22nd, 2025. Yep, that's the official opening date. Now, it's unclear if Disney will want to roll out some, if not all of these new offerings either before the opening of the park in late spring, or if they'll want to hold off into June until the summer crowds really start to flock to the Orlando area. Either way, it's pretty obvious that no matter what Disney ends up doing, nothing they end up rolling out will even have a chance at competing with Epic Universe, and Disney has no one but themselves to blame. But I'm interested to hear what you guys think, so let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All right, everybody, that is it for Disney's Hollywood Studios. And of course, we have just one more park left, and that is Disney's Animal Kingdom. So without further ado, let's head on over to our final stop. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Disney's Animal Kingdom, our final park. And of course, as you probably have guessed, the news that we have to cover here has to do with Dinoland USA as it begins its transformation very, very soon into the new Tropical America's Land that will be opening here at Animal Kingdom in 2027. Ending here inside Dinoland USA, we have some very exciting news to discuss, as it was just announced last week that the first phase of construction on the new Tropical America's themed land will finally be underway in early January. According to details released by Disney, the Chester and Hester's Dinorama portion of the land will be officially closing on January 13th, 2025. More specifically, the experiences that will be closing include the Fossil Fun Carnival games, Triceratops Spin, and Chester and Hester's Dinosaur Treasures gift shop, meaning your last chance to experience all 3 of these will be on Sunday, January 12th, 2025. Now, this Phase 1 closure of Dinoland USA comes as no surprise because Disney previously shared with us that construction on the new Tropical America's Land will begin in phases. This means that at least for the foreseeable future, experiences like the Boneyard, Restaurantosaurus, and of course Dinosaur will continue to remain open. What does come as a surprise, though, is the delay in construction, as Disney originally stated that work would begin as soon as this fall, with rumors indicating sometime in November. But it looks like work has been pushed back about 2 months and will begin in the winter instead. Again, this isn't really a significant delay, as I can see why Disney would want as many experiences to remain open to tackle the immense crowds for the upcoming holiday season, but again, that's just my guess. Now, what's interesting about this Dinoland closure is, again, it is closing in phases, but they're closing Dinorama first. Well, if you're wondering why, it actually makes perfect sense. If we look at the concept art for the Tropical America's Land, we can see that the north side of the land, where the carousel and the Encanto attraction are going to be, those are going to be pretty heavy construction items. We're on the south side of the land, where the Hacienda, that's going to be replacing Restaurantosaurus, and the Indiana Jones attraction that will be replacing Dinosaur, those are less logistical challenges to tackle, because the Indiana Jones attraction is basically just a retheming of the already existing Dinosaur, and the same thing can also be said for Restaurantosaurus. So let me elaborate really quick. I say this because the Encanto e-ticket attraction is literally being built straight from the ground up. So naturally, Disney is going to need a little bit more time to logistically build this addition. Now, on the other hand, if we look over here by Dinosaur, the Indiana Jones attraction that will be replacing it isn't really a quote-unquote new attraction. Just like how we saw with Splash Mountain at the Magic Kingdom, it's going to be the same ride system and same track layout, just with a different IP attached to it. And the same thing can even be said for Restaurantosaurus. The popular quick service restaurant will be staying in the exact same location, just being rethemed to a hacienda, serving up South American inspired dishes instead of burgers and chicken nuggets. So what I'm getting at here is that the south side of Dinoland will remain open a little bit longer because there's simply less work to do, while on the north side of the land, there's a significant increase of more work needing to be done. And as far as when we might see the remainder of the land shut down, we don't exactly know just yet. But if I had to venture a guess, I'd say maybe sometime this spring in possibly April or May, but who knows? Well, everybody, that is going to officially wrap up today's big property-wide Walt Disney World construction update. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know that this video is, fairly delayed, so I do apologize for that. But another reason why I did want to do a big construction update in October is that for those of you who don't know, Disney's new fiscal year starts on October 1st. So starting October 1st, everything resets. All of those money Excel spreadsheets, they completely reset. And now we have, some brand new investment numbers that are going to be plugged into the parks very, very, very soon, as we just discussed. So we have a lot to look forward to. Unfortunately, come the new year, there are going to be quite a few things that are going to be closing. Obviously, Big Thunder Mountain will be closing temporarily for a very lengthy refurb. Part of Dinoland U.S.A. will be closing, and I'm sure that the remainder of the land is not going to be too far behind. The Rivers of America, Tom Sawyer Island, that's also probably on the way out very, very, very soon. So we are going to be losing quite a few things next year, especially early in the year. But at the same time, we all just kind of have to remind ourselves that the new additions that come after that we have to look forward to, they're going to be bigger and better than ever, which is really, really, really awesome. So again, I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, be sure to like, subscribe, turn those notifications on. Check me out on Instagram as well. The link is down below. And also, if you happen to have Instagram Threads, we are on there now as well. I don't think many people actually use it, but if you have it, we are on there. So be sure to check us out as well. The link is in our Instagram bio as well. And again, Instagram link is down below. So please, 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 please go make sure to give us a follow. But my name is Bobby. This has been It's a Small Vlog, fall property-wide 2024 construction update. And with all that out of the way, have a magical day, everybody. Bye.